Premier Smith is clear in her demands. She wants a new oil pipeline, and she wants your government to eliminate laws she views as inhibiting investment in infrastructure. What are you asking of the Premier?
We're many things, and as I say, it's a productive discussion, meeting minds. We're looking for a major investment that puts, amongst other things, Alberta, puts the industry, puts the country in a position for the energy future. And the future of energy, clean and conventional, is low risk. Canada's low risk. It's low cost, and it's low carbon. And you look again at the Silicon as an example. Top decile, one of the most environmentally sustainable LNG projects, rightly proud of that. With respect to the emissions intensity of oil and gas, the intention is to get that down substantially. That has been falling. We have the opportunity to do that, and we need to do that in concert, as well as in concert. I'll say one other thing, and we'll pass on, is making our industrial carbon markets, the tier market in Alberta, work more effectively. And that's an important element for future investment certainty going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. I think this is
Caroline Bargu with CBC News. My question is similar to my colleague Aaron's question. 2 months ago you announced the initial batch of major projects. How has being on that list helped those projects move along?
Yeah. Okay. So, and there'll be a bit of overlap with, not surprising, with what Don Farrell said. Part of it is moving in parallel as opposed to moving sequentially. I mean, part of the reason why a number of projects in the past have taken a decade or so before a decision is made whether to move forward. There's a term, as I'm sure you know, in building a final investment decision. Well, you don't take the final investment decision of whether to put shovels in the ground, metaphorically or physically, until you know whether you've got the regulatory approvals, some idea of what the financing terms are going to be, who's going to buy potentially the product, those aspects. Well, the answers, whether you're going to get the environmental assessment, who your partners are going to be, and how can they participate fully in the projects. What being part of the this process is, from the federal government's perspective, is to move our contributions to all of those aspects, to speed them up, to move them in parallel, with provincial governments. I'll give you another example, which is that too often historically you'd have a provincial approval process and then the federal approval process would start. But different federal departments would start their approval processes at different times and not take into account what others were doing. So with respect to the projects that have come over, we're moving much faster. We're moving in parallel. There's a window, a single window for the people who are working on these projects to see all of the financing support. There's a single window for Indigenous peoples working with the federal government. Again, it's not the entire picture, but it's an important part of the picture to move that forward. And it moves these projects more quickly to the decision whether they move forward or not. And I can tell you personally from my experience in the last 2 months, just dealing with the proponents, it is very much appreciated.
Prime Minister, where do negotiations stand with Alberta on the so-called grand bargain? Premier Danielle Smith was hoping to achieve a deal by the Grey Cup on new energy projects. Is that going to happen?
We call it a memorandum of understanding, as does the Premier. Those discussions are going well. We're encouraged I'm personally encouraged by the progress that we're making. There's a few more issues that we're working on ironing out, and looking forward to that progress over the course of the coming weeks. This is a very important process for the province, for the country. It's related in many respects to what we're talking about today in terms of some aspects of this are for major investments that will help build Alberta strong, build Canada strong, make us more independent and more prosperous. We want to make sure we're doing it right. I will reference one thing, if I could just bring it back, and then I'll hand it back to you for your follow-up. In terms of, because we're here talking about the Major Projects Office and these big projects, one of the first bits of work that the Major Projects Office is very much engaged in is around the Pathways Project and major carbon capture and storage. This is a huge opportunity for Canada to develop a new industry, to have decarbonized oil and gas, and it is part of, very much part of these discussions that we're having with Alberta. How do we move that forward, part and parcel with other aspects?